Whenever you're ready.
So, Mr. Instructor, I want to start my outside pre-test inspection from the front. Lights up on top. They're all amber color. They're all fully functional, and there's no cracks in them or broken. Next is headlights. Those are clear, low beams and high beams, and it's got the amber four ways, snap light, hazard. And I also want to check the bottom of the truck, make sure that there's no leaks, no puddling, no debris under there. What we're going to check for is first the coolant level, the reservoir and radiator. Make sure the level is okay. Should be between at and full. Make sure there's no puddles. It's not broken or anything. Then the alternator and water pump. Make sure that they're properly mounted, secure, no cracks, damage or leaks, and it is belt driven. Want to check the belts that they're not broken, that they're not cracked, and they could only have 3/4 inch of play. Okay. Now, also want to check the exhaust, which starts back in here, and for the exhaust, we are checking that the system is properly mounted and secured. No cracks, damages, or leaks. We're also checking the exhaust stack. Same thing, no cracks, not broken, any soot, and no excessive noise when running. Now we're going to go over to the right side. I want to start with the air compressor, water pump, I'm sorry, the power steering pump. And those are gear driven, not belt driven, and they should be properly mounted, secured, no cracks, damage, or leaks. And then we're going to check the reservoir for the power steering. Make sure that it's not cracked or broken, and it has to be at the above. It has to be above the refill mark. Okay. And they also want to check where the oil filter, where we add the oil, and you can only add by a gallon at a time, and the dipstick has to read above the refill mark. Okay. Okay, now what's next? Your washer fluid. Make sure the cap is secure, it's not broken. And we want to go to the frame, looking for a bent track weld or hose all the way to the back of the truck as we're going. And then we're also going to look at the steering box hoses. They should be properly mounted, secured, no cracks, damages, or leaks, no missing nuts, bolts, or cotter pins, and check that the hose has no cracks, damage, or leaks. Next is the steering linkage, should be properly mounted and secured. The steering shaft, universal joint, the pitman arm, drag link, ball joint, steering arm, steering knuckle, tie rod arm, castle nuts, and cotter keys not worn, loose, or missing. Okay. And then now you want to look at the front axle. And it has the leaf springs, air mounts. They cannot be missing, shifted, cracked, or broken. and check for damage and make sure that they are securely mounted. Now the mounts have the spring mounts, leveling valves, control arms, make sure they're not missing, broken, or the U-bolts, same thing, they're not broken, and they have to be securely mounted, not cracked or damaged. Now shock absorbers and mounts should be properly mounted, secured, no cracks, damages, or leaks. Now we go to brake chamber, properly mounted, secured, no cracks, damages, or leaks. Also checking the brake hoses and lines, making sure they're properly mounted, secured, and no cracks, damages, or leaks. Now also the slack adjuster is right there with the push rod. And when the brakes are applied, the push rod should not move more than 2 inches. It should be at 90 degrees. It should be properly mounted, secured, with no cracks or damages. Now after that is the brake drum, making sure it's got no cracks, damaged, greased oil, and we also want to check for loops or missing bolts. Now next up is the brake linings. They should be properly mounted, secured, no cracks or damages, and not less than 1/4 inch thick at its thinnest point. Okay, now next is tires. These front tires have to be brand new tires. They can't be recapped or they can't be flats. And they have to be inflated from 90 to 110 psi. You can check with the manufacturer has on the sidewall there. Now the conditions you want to look for: abrasion, bulges, cuts, and damages, uneven wear on the tread or sidewalls, checking that the valve semi caps are not broken or missing. Now the depth on these, no less than 4/30 seconds, and 2/30 seconds on all the other tires. Now the rim, you want to make sure that it's cracked, no damage, and no illegal welds. This is an aluminum rim, so you want to check for oxidation streaks. Now also the lug nuts, no rust trails, no oxidation streaks, and not loose or missing, and they're all tightened and present. Now these front ones have hub axles, no, hub oil, I guess. Make sure they're not leaking, and if it has a sight glass, the oil is at the full mark. Okay, now next up, we go to my door, the entrance of the front. Make sure it works properly, opens and closes. The hinges are good working order. The mirrors are not broken, clear, no stickers, and there's no obstructions. Also on the steps here, make sure they're clear, clean, and secure.